Please keep clapping until he gets here.
Your Excellency, Mr. Vice President, through you, my salutations to everybody. Mine is a story of education and hope. And I will be reading chapter 23, so you hear the musings of this great man of hope. It's a story of abiding faith and the great grace of the Lord Almighty. This book is not about money, it's about determination and purpose. The book is not about wealth, it is about light that confounds darkness. This book is about a man who, the last speaker says, is a light unto the world. And these are his musings. James Hope College, Excellence and Empowerment. There is a story behind how the project came to be named James Hope College. The name James is mine, the one with which I was baptized. The name Hope came from an unexpected place. It was 2015. I was one of numerous people watching stunning news broadcast from Chile, where 33 coal miners have been trapped far below the surface for 2 months. Surface-to-surface mine communication had just been established, and for the first time, the miners were able to communicate their situation and their wishes. Watching the broadcast, a harrowing rescue effort was beginning live on camera. A reporter said the wife of one of the trapped miners was due to give birth to a baby girl. Fearful of the possibility that the father might not make it out alive, a fiber optics line was provided to him. I remember being glued to the television with my wife as we watched CNN's minute-by-minute live coverage of the trapped miners. One story in particular struck a chord with me. Ariel Ticona was able to pass a message to his wife, Elizabeth Segovia, following the birth of their daughter. Using a fiber optic video link set up between ground level and a small underground refuge where they could remain trapped for several months. Tell her to change the name of our daughter and give her a long-distance kiss, he said, as other miners shouted, "We're going to name her Esperanza." Esperanza, Spanish for hope. That single word expressed what those miners and their families and everyone following their plight were holding on to. Across the world, people focused on the miners and joined the massive expression of hope. It was a feeling that became even more poignant when every one of the miners was pulled to safety and reunited with their loved ones. I was moved very deeply by Ariel Ticona's act, sending his message out through several thousand feet of earth with his daughter's name, such a positive, uplifting expression in a long, dark night of crisis. The broadcast coincided with my thinking about what to name the new high school. The old primary school that had been demolished happened to be the very one in which I learned to speak English and to write my letters and numbers when I was 5 or 6 years old. The old structure had been completely demolished, and there was nothing in the place where the building had stood 58 years before. In fact, an entire forest had grown up where it had once been. How extraordinarily fortuitous that the people of the village wanted me to build something on that site for them. The neighboring people were so poor, they never imagined a former student might one day make enough money to build a new school. They had felt no hope of rising above their circumstances and no reason to think they would ever have hope. Some 5 decades later, I wanted to give it to them. This is how the school came to be called James Hope College. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.